So, okay, so we have on the hour mark. We are already on the hour mark, right?
Yeah, see you in a bit, okay?
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cloud and Lunch Learn. This is one more session of the Cloud and Lunch and Learn. I have with me today Hasham Niaz. Before a wonderful guest introduce himself, let me add him to the stream actually. Introduce himself. I'd like to ask you to follow us in our social medias, LinkedIn, Twitter, and so on. And of course, connect with our content on YouTube. So in a bit, I will post the links for your social medias. Okay. So one thing that's an important reminder, guys, for the next session of the Cloud and Lunch and Learn, with the support from Microsoft, of course, we start to draw some certification vouchers. So bring your friends to the next session, bring your family, bring your dog, and so on, and get the chance to win a certification voucher. Also, don't forget to scan this QR code. It's huge important, not just for me and for you as well, to access the free resource for this session, the step-by-step learning guides, and as well practical experience with Microsoft Power BI. And of course, you're gonna help us to show Microsoft that we are doing an amazing job. Hashan, it's a pleasure to have you today. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your session today? And then we can get started, okay?
Sorry. So today's session name is Power BI Zero to Hero. This session is targeted for beginners and intermediate level audience who are starting, who wants to know where to start from in Power BI. They have some basic knowledge of Power BI and they want to do some advanced level stuff and they want to get their hands on to the Power BI. So this session will actually, in the end of this session, the output, you will have one dashboard which you can take out to your company and to your colleagues and friends, and you can share them. This is your work, and you will able to achieve this through Power BI. So this is our session, and we have make this interesting. We have like 4 or 5 exercises. Every exercise is time in like 5 to 10 minute exercise, 10 to 15 minutes between that, and through this exercises we will build a dashboard at the end of our 1 hour mark. Hopefully we will finish hopefully before the 1 hour mark. Yes.
Okay, there's no problem at all. We can stand a little bit. I can imagine this Power BI session. It's an amazing session. It's always having something to add. So feel free to start this and present a little bit. So before we can start, so can you tell me a little bit more about you? So a little bit of your experience, how much you love the Power BI and so on.
Okay. So my experience with BI and the Power BI is I have been in the BI industry for past 15 years. I have been leading different user groups around the Middle East and in Asian region. I have been organizing different conferences, BI related Power BI. I have been part of program committee for PAS for last 3 years. I was leading analytics track there. And then I have won several awards, BI awards, community awards throughout this area. And I'm mostly the data and the BI person. So you can ask me in between. If you have any question, you can just stop and ask the question. So hopefully you will be managing the chat.
Yeah,
so
I will. Leave on me the questions.
Okay.
So it's up to you.
Okay.
If you prefer, I can leave everything by the end. But if you want to, I can interrupt you and
yeah,
say,
we can ask in between. If you have any question, we can ask in between. Like every 15-minute mark, we can take some questions. from the
That's
audience.
amazing. That's amazing. So I'm looking forward to see the experience from you. And of course, I will reach out to you after this session and we can talk a lot about our love about data and BI. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So you can share your screen. So I think you have the button here available in StreamYard. Just click share and I add you to the screen. Okay.
Okay. So I have started sharing my screen. Let me
Uh,
know if you guys can see.
yeah. Let me add to the screen and let me. Yeah. Okay. You are on. Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
So
Catch you in a bit.
fine.
Okay. Good luck.
Okay. Okay. So this is our session name. We have already discussed our session name. This is my brief introduction. If you want me to follow on the LinkedIn, you can contact me here. And there are some other achievements and awards. So for today's exercise, we will be using this Power BI desktop, which is a free version you can download and you can install in your local machine, and you can follow the exercise. If you want, you will follow the recording later on, and you can just follow it now, listen it here, and then when you after the session uh, you can get the recording and you can follow the exercise. Sample data is available here in the URL I have already published. So what it is going to be look like. So our session agenda and objective. So what we are trying to do here today. So we have break up this session into 4 different exercises. So our first exercise, which will be targeted around 10-minute exercise. So what we will do, we'll try to load some data, we will do some data modeling, and we will do some data quality checks. Okay. And the second exercise, we will be creating a chart, creating sales, number of sales, and we will be adding some images to it as well. And then we will creating some measures and doing some order by things as well. What For the sample data, we will be using sales data, which we have the supermarket sales data we have collected here locally for different stores, and we have combined and concatenated these files. So I have hosted this file into the SharePoint. So I will just share these with you in a bit when we move to the demo section in 2-3 minutes. So the third exercise we'll be creating some more measures, we'll be adding some more dynamic images, and we'll be adding these charts and percentage year over increase as well. In the final part of the exercise, we will try to develop a slicer panel. We will try to have the reset slicer bookmarks, and then we will try to add some buttons and then align the report theme. So in between, I might do some of the points early on, or we can switch some of the points, but this will be the structure of this exercise. So I think we have now almost 10 minutes. So we have 50 minutes with our session, and the session output would be something like this. If you see, we might end up having a chart or dashboard like this, or we might end up having a dashboard like this. It's totally depends on how we want to measure it up or how we want to. So let's move to the demo part here. And before I move to the demo part, let me show you the files which I'll be using. So this is the Excel file I have. It has some sales data, invoice number, branch, city, country, customer type, gender, product line, unit price. So these are specific very common things in the sales industry if you are there. So you might be familiar with this sales. You want to monitor as a sales manager, you want to manage monitor your sales and quantity, how many units you sold, or what is the average order size. So I have uploaded these already here in my SharePoint directory. So for the ease of this session, I have uploaded. If you don't have a SharePoint, it's no big problem. You can directly use these Excel file through this Power BI source. So currently, I have a blank file here. My file does not. So I open a blank new file here for the Power BI, and I will go to my get data connection. If you want to use directly the Excel file, you can use the Excel file, or if you want to use multiple Excel files, you can use a folder connection here. So since if you can see, I have these 1, 2, 3 files. So for these 3 years, I have these files available here. So I have written these files. So if you don't have a SharePoint, you can just directly use the folder connection, and you can, in the folder connection, you can choose. So for me, I am using a SharePoint folder because I have hosted all my files to the SharePoint folder. So I will provide the link of my SharePoint site here. So this would be my SharePoint site. What is happening? So this is the SharePoint site which I have. So I will just provide this link here. I'll verify submit test. So currently this is there are two versions of the site I have created, submit test and submit prod. So I will use first submit test, and then I will click OK. It will go into the authentication site and it will just try to verify. Okay, so I will say it will ask me to sign in. I have this ID here. So let's say it will actually send me the approval. Yes. So now it bypasses the. So this is our first step of the exercise. Just keep. So we'll do the data loading here. So you see it is now showing me all the files here into the test site. So I can click on one of the files. So I will say, okay, combine and transform data. This one. So I have loaded all these files here. So this is my test site. This will give me a new Power Query window. So how many of you are familiar with already? You have been using Power BI at your work for your reporting purposes, for your business intelligence needs? You can answer the question into the chat. So this will actually, if you see, this is actually show me what are the different files. So this is actually showing me the table structure of the file which I want to import. So I say, okay, let's say click OK, and then the data will be imported into my Power BI. So this is our first step, to just load the data from Excel file or any other SQL table. You can use Access or CSV format. So you can use data can be any different format. It can be hosted anywhere. It can be hosted in Oracle. It can be hosted in SQL as well. So first step to bring your data in or make your connection to be able to analyze in Power BI. So I am here. So this is my window. So let me change this to a sales one here. So I said you can see there are different files loaded here as well. And I just named this query as sales. Everything else I can see this is fine, right? So now I close and apply. This is first part of the exercise. So we bring data into our SQL file. So our next step is to add some validate what are the data quality. If the data which we bring is fit enough for the analysis purpose, it does not have any bad data. So we'll do some quick checks here before I move on. So I will just try to see what is the number of sales here in the card visual. So I will see here, okay, so currently my total sales is almost 4.64 million, right? So I will now create one more table here using new table using a query. So I have this query available with me, this calendar table. So I will create this calendar table here. So currently I want my calendar to be starting from 2018, 21. So this is my first argument, start date, and the second argument would be my end date. So I created this calendar table here. I just press this. You see, I have this calendar table available here as well. And I can make a connection here. So I will go here into my home tab. I can do it different ways. In my home tab here, I can go to modeling, and then I will go to manage relationship. This is one way of creating a relationship between the tables. The second way, I can go to the model view, and then I can click on manage relationship. So I will create a relationship between my calendar table and my sales table here. So I will choose the column here, and I will choose the column here as well, which is the invoice date, right? And my column relation type is one to many, and cross filter direction is single. Make sure you always have this cross filter direction as single. We will just explain in a bit. So what we are trying to achieve. So this is our current model looks like. So this is our calendar is a dimension table, and we have the fact here, which has all the quantitative values which you want to analyze. So how about if I create a slicer here, and I say I want to see 2020. So you see when, so I can interact now. So my sales is starting to see. If I do select 2020, I have blank. Now 1.27 million, 1.22 million, 1.04 million, right? Why some of the sales is coming as blank? Because almost 390K is coming as blank as well. I can see that. So now this is my time to go do some data quality checks. Before move forward, I will just save this file. It's always a good practice to save your work, because Power BI file can crash, and it can crash very often. If you are dealing with larger files as larger data model, it can crash. So just to not lose out on your work, make sure you always save your work and make a copy of your Power BI files. Any question till this point, you can ask.
No questions so far, Hachan.
Okay.
I find everything brilliant. And just to answer the question that you did in the beginning, I use, even it's not part of my role, I use Power BI every single day. It's something that is key for my daily jobs. You know, even if we're not, let's say, a specialist or IT admin or something like that, I think Power BI can do a lot of good things for you.
Okay. Yes. Wonderful. Okay. So now moving into the next part, because I see some of my sales are coming as blank. They don't type to anything. So this is, we'll go investigate why this is coming. Some bad data is coming. So almost 390K. So currently, if you go to the home tab, you have this Power Query window. You can go to the transform data, and you can click on transform data thing. What it will do, it will open you the filter. So here I have this thing called data quality checks. What I need to, so I can have this column quality available here, and I can do column distribution, and I can do column profile as well, right? So we'll discuss all these data quality options here one by one. So once I have this column quality, well, this is showing me valid rows, empty rows, or error rows. So I can quickly, at a glance, I can look where I have these empty rows available. So currently I cannot see anything here. So I think it is saying everything else is valid, right? It is saying almost all the rows are valid, 100% valid, 100% valid. So still, why some of the rows are coming as blank? Column distribution, if I click on column distribution, it can show this is the one distinct value, how many distinct and unique values there, how many distinct values are repeated here in the column. So I can see how my values are distributed here. So you can see all the dimensional values here, or dimensional attributes. These are lower trajectory or low frequency. Okay, I save this file for now. Now if I go to my data calendar table, I see some of the sales might be coming up from 2016. So I just save this as of now. I change the calendar direction here, and you see here this got changed. So I need to go back and change it to the date hierarchy, and then still I have almost everything coming as. So now my blank sales is dropped down to 85.6 million. So we'll check in a bit as well. Now moving to the next part, like if somebody, we have this data source coming up. Now you have decided, okay, I have put this data, but I want to move to another directory, or I want to deploy this solution to a production site, or I want to send this file to one of my colleagues and he can work on this. So how you can work on those connections? Because The connection I use this SharePoint site, and everyone's has to access the SharePoint site. If I want to modify, how we can do that? So to do that, there is one way. In your file, in your Power BI desktop file, you go to the options and settings. You go to the options, and in the Power Query editor, you need to select this settings, the global settings that always allow parameterization and data source and transformation. So what it will let you do, it will let you use the parameters or the variables in your. So if I go here and I say change source, so I can actually change the source here as well, or I can create a parameter, new parameter, and I can say, first let me copy this one, and I can say new parameter, and this time I will say SharePoint source, and then I will pass on the parameter value. And this time I use the parameter value as, because I have a prod site available as well, I will use this site, right? So you see now this has been directed to, and this close. So once I close this, this will ask, Power BI ask me to actually apply these changes. So I will apply these changes here as well, and this will actually now fetch the data from my production. So if I go to my production side, my production side has this these 3 year sales, 2019, 20, 21, while my test site has, if I show you here, it has almost all the files available. It has like 4 or 5 files, 2018. So if I go into my Power BI file, you will see that I don't have any 2018 sales as well. So I have only these 3 year sales. So I can go back here and I can just trim down my calendar table to starting from 2019, because I know this one is coming from. So this is our first part where we do the data modeling, where we actually do the parameterization, data source parameterization as well. So let's save this file for now. And if you go here, if you want to change the parameter values, you can go here, edit parameters, and you can actually flip between different SharePoint site, or if you want. So but one thing is, like, since I'm using this SharePoint, so I can switch between SharePoint folders as well. It is not possible that I can switch between SharePoint folder to a directory folder as well. So if that is a requirement, then you need to recreate this one. So this is our first part of the exercise, where we actually do the data loading, data modeling, and some of the data quality issues. Now the second part of the exercise, where we have we need to create some charts, some measures, and add some visual. So this will be our second part. It will be a 10-minute exercise, and hopefully by the end of the 10 minutes we will be able to create this chart. So let's go into our Power BI thing. Let's delete all these two things. Now this exercise asks us to do what? Let's read again. It asks us to create sales and number of order measures. So we'll create these two measures, and then we will add some images, and then in the final step we will create a visual to show sales and orders by city. So we'll try it. Yes.
Can I interrupt you for a second? So, yes, we have a question from Annie here. So she's asking, or he is asking, is why not create a dynamic date DT table for the date?
Okay, yeah, this is the dynamic. Okay, so we can create a dynamic table as well. So for the purpose of simplicity, I'm using, so there is another way. If I want, I can just click here. I will just show you here. So if you want without providing any date as well, so I will use calendar auto as well. I think that, so if I click this one, calendar auto, what it will use the minimum and maximum date of my model, right? And this 12 is the fiscal year, even if I don't pass. So if my fiscal year, like if you want to start your fiscal year from July, so I can use 6. Or if you want to start your fiscal year from March, I can use 3 or 2, depending on the, so this is the parameter. So if I click on this, this will behave the same, and you will see this table now populates. If I go here, this populates from the minimum and maximum date from my model. I think my model has some of the data is back to 1899 as well. So let's see. Also, let's go back and do one more thing here. So you can create this dynamic date, or you can create a date dimension as well. The total, you can expand the date dimension to your physical SQL table. You can have the date dimension in your SSAS model, or you can have create a date dimension through Power M queries as well. So there are many different ways of creating a date dimension. You can just Google it on, and you will find lot of samples of date dimension. It depends on your reporting requirement, how you want to achieve. Like if you want a customized fiscal year dimension, you can use that as well. But for the purpose of simplicity, we use the calendar auto or calendar function for this. So if I go back here and do transform data, just to make one more eye on my data set here, because I don't want any bad data. So I can quickly see all of the data is actually valid, because I switched the directory. So I want to make sure that the data which is coming here is valid as well. So this is fine. So I just close this one without applying any changes. So I can use the calendar auto function as well. Now I switch back to the one which I was using earlier from 2019. And this is just the personal preference as well, or the requirement which you are dealing with. Okay. So now our first step was to create two measures. So I will create two measures called number of orders and number of sales. So I have this measure called, I will create, I have another thing called, I will use this as a measure table technique. So I organize all my measures into one table called measures. And here I will, in this table, I will create all my measures. So this is how I created a table. Yes, this I can see, and then I can right click on the new measure thing, selecting the table. I can click here on the new measure thing. I can go into the modeling, and I can click on new measure here as well. So there are three different ways as well you can create a measure. So I create a new measure here, and I name this new measure at number of orders. I count the rows which are available in my sales table. So this will be my number of orders measure. And then I have a simple sum of sales because I already have the sales things here. So I will create one more measure. And one more thing is always make sure you do the right formatting. So this number of orders will be always the whole number, and I will do the comma separation as well. Also, I don't want this column to be shown up here. So I hide this column. I also only want this to be here. So I have created these ones here, and this is my sales. And I can say, okay, this should be in decimal. For now, I'm just putting it to be decimal, and then you can use the currency sign as well. I'm not using the currency sign for now. I will switch it on later. So these are two measures we have created. I will always love to organize my measures into the folders as well. So you can do it like this. This all the sales measure would go into the sales folder, and you can see all the order related measure will be go into the order measure, right? So you see I have these things organized here as well. Any question till this point we can come up. And now moving on to the exercise. So we need to create a visual to show sales and orders by city. So I need to find a city here. I have this city here available with me, and then I want to see orders. So I'll say, okay, this is my number of orders, and then I have this one. So how about this? So we almost created a chart, but how about if we want something like this? How about if we want something like this? So we want to have something like this where I can have this much. So how to make it beautify, right? So although this both these charts are same using the same data, but how we go about this? So if I'm here, I want to showcase something similar. So how I revamp this visual to the one which is shown in the PowerPoint slide. So let's try to build something like that. Before that, I will go and I will do some kind of theming here. So I will go here and I will customize my current theme here, which I will use this theme color here, and I will go advanced and I will use all my colors to be dark, full black. So I'll use this. Text size should be, font size should be 12. Title should be 14. Card and KPIs 22. Awareness. Okay, I have set these things. Visuals, background, border. I will turn this off. I will do the header as well. Tooltip, page filter, filter pane. Okay, so I apply these things. So you see now the size has been changed. This is some element has coming as well. So let's try to replicate this thing. So I choose this chart here and I will go here, and first of all I'll do it like x10 300, which is enough for us. 20 and add this comment. Okay, so I adjust some of the sizing properties here. Now to the styling, I will choose none, apply none of the styles, and then I'll choose all the grid and row paddings to go. So I can increase the row padding now here. You can see I increase the row padding here. So which is more like to our thing here. And then what I'm going to do here is I'll leave the column and I will turn off the row totals, subtotals as well. So which is now going towards the same thing. Now I have these pictures available, and then I have this bar here as well. So I need to show this bar as well. So how about if I add, so if I go back here, number of orders, this is the number of orders. So how about if I go to the field formatting option and I say, okay, display units auto, font color auto, alignment center, and then for the other fields as well, alignment, I want this to be center as well. So I adjust the alignment here as well. And then one more thing I need to do, I go into the conditional formatting. For this one, I want this a background color, sorry, a data bar. So which is fine because this is how it, oh sorry, I don't want the data bar here into the orders. I want the data bar into my sales. So I will select this one, this column, sales column here, and I will choose the data bars to be turned on. And one more thing here, I will use this one. And the field formatting for the sales one, I use the display units to be thousands. So this become more readable. So which is in line with me. So this is done till this point. We'll expand this one so you can see this. So now what was our exercise? Our exercise was this, and order by city. Okay. So if I want, I can order this by city as well. So ascending or descending, depending on the, so I will sort these in the ascending order. So what about these icons here? So what about these icons here? So I have these icons available and I will just show you in a minute. One more thing before I forget this one. So I will go into the row headers and I will say my row headers to be, sorry, go back here, just do the, this one. I will go to my column headers. I will say my column headers color should match this one. So this actually becomes hidden. And now I can insert some of the images here. So I can insert the buttons, I can insert shapes, I can insert images. in my data, I have some images here available. So our this one, if I add this image here, and I can add one more image here as well. So you see, I have these two available here for me. And what I can do for these two is I can turn off the borders. So, okay. So this looks more visible, right? And I can adjust some more bits here as well. So this is my order column. This is my, so now I'm trying to replicate something similar. So you see this is hidden. So how to get rid of this one? So this you can decide with the selection order. If I go to view and I select the selection pane here, so I can actually name all of my objects here and I can see the order in which they want. So I can say this is my basket logo and this is my sales logo. This is my city sales, right? So I have these three things and I can group all these three together into one group called city sales, right? So now what will happen when I group? If I move them, I can move them together, right? Any question till this point? I will save this file for now, and that is our exercise part 1. So our exercise part 1 ask us to create 2 measures, add some images, and create a visual to show sales and order by city. So this is done. Now we are ready for our exercise number 3, which is sales by product line. We need to create average sales measure. We need to create percentage sales increase measure. And then we need to add visual. And then finally, we need to create a chart which shows average sales and average sales or sales percentage increase by product line. So if I show you the chart, this is asking for some of the similar charts. So this will show you the percentage increase over increase. This is by product line, and this will say. So this is the chart we are looking for, or you might go and see this is kind of the chart where product line and the sales over percentage increase. So let's do it like this. So we can have this one available. For me, I can just do a copy paste, simple copy paste of this chart for now. And if I click here, the item, the second item here in the matrix city. So if I remove this product line with cities, so I have, you can see, I have all these product lines available here as well. So I can move this one for now to the side so I can focus on this one. I can just remove these 2 images as so if you want, you can go here and select the image to see this is the image of the, so I can image. So this is so now I have everything, but I am missing some of the stuffs here available. So I'm missing sales percentage over percentage increase measure and the average sales. So I have the definition for these one average sales as well. So our average sales should be number of total sales divided by number of order. So if I click here and I click here on the measure table. So how about if I click here and create a measure here? So this gives me average sales divided by number of orders. So this will be our sales measure. But now the measure is created in this folder. So how if I want to switch this, organize this into my measures folder? So I can quickly go to the home table and then I can switch it between the tables where I want to make this table change. So you see, I have this one now moved to the measures table. So this is how you can move it. And then in the folder, if I want to organize, so I want this average sales to be organized into my sales folder. So display folder name sales. So now this is coming up here as well. So I have this measure here, average sales measure. I can bring this measure into this chart, and then I want to create one more measure. So to create sales percentage over percentage increase measure, we will use a different technique. This time we will use a quick measure technique. And if I go here into the home and I click on quick measure, so Power BI lets you create all the calculations on the fly as well. So there are different calculations available, 20 to 30 calculations available, which you can do. So what I'm here, I'm trying to measure a year over year increase or year over year change, and on which base value I want to measure sales percentage year over year increase. And for the date part, I will use this date part, and the number of period it will compare with the last 1 year. So once I click OK, you'll see Power BI creates one measure on the fly, right? And if you want to check this one, so for this to be work, we need to create some filters here out here. So I will create some filters here so I can compare sales side by side. So if you have 2 years or 3 years of data, so currently let's choose this one year filter. Let's say this will be my year slicer, and I want this to be a drop down. So I can have all the years available here, you can see, and I select this to be 2021, and so I have this measure available here. Here I will create one more measure here, one more slicer, which is going to be month slicer, and I can change this one. I will only leave all the months here. So this is my month slicer. I have currently selected all the months. If you want this to be a different orientation kind of thing, you can quickly do it here. So if I go here and I say list, and I can go into my journal thing and I change the orientation to horizontal, and this will be something like this, right? So this is the kind of thing we have here. If you are seeing, so this was kind of thing you will achieve. So I will now have these two things available here. So this is my month slicer, this is my year slicer. These two slicers are available. I have the sales available. Now I want to check if my sales year over year in measure is returning the proper values as well. So how about if I place this measure here as well? So this is my percentage year over year increase. So currently this is saying all my year over year increase is downwards. Because, can anybody answer this question? Because I'm comparing my whole 2021, because 2021 is still, we are in July, and 2022 is a full year. So if I compare this with only 4 or 5 months, I'll have a more. So you see, now I have a more perspective here. So to see this comparison like apple by apple, so now my January is comparing with the January sales, my February is comparing with the February sales. So I have this measure available here as well. And what else? My second exercise, third exercise was average sales. Create average sales measure, which we have created. Sales percentage year over year increase measure, which we have created. Create a visual to show average sales and sales increase by product line. So this is actually this one. So I already placed this measure. And one more thing I can do here is I can go to the conditional formatting, and for this one year over year increase, I can set some of the icons here as well. So this was the kind of thing you are seeing here, like positive increase or negative increase. So for this part, let's close this one. Is this visible? We have almost spent 35 minutes on our exercises. We have the last exercise remaining. Before we move to the last exercise, I want your input. How do you rate, and what is kind of like you are following this one, or did I go too quick, or you want some more information onto any of the topics? So I'm wait 2-3 minutes to see if we have any feedback from the audience. Otherwise, I will move then. Okay.
Hasham? Hasham, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so Anya is asking again another question here. Can you show that comparison measure on Swarm when you compare the measures?
Can you repeat the question? I did not get
Yes.
it. This one says sales year-over-year increase measure.
Yeah, asking, can you show that comparison measure on Swarm? I think you compare some measures. Okay.
Yeah. We can show it as well. Yeah. So, okay, I got your question. So I think the question is related to the can I use this measure again somewhere else as well? Yes, we can use this measure somewhere else. This is total dynamic. The purpose of creating a measure is like these calculations can be used against any dimensional attribute. So if I click on here this measure and I want to see year-over-year increase, this one, and I can place this measure here. So now this time this will show me year-over-year increase by cities, and here it is showing by product line. So this is the measure. This is working dynamically, so I don't do hard code anything. This measure actually creates or calculates on the fly. So let's try to debug what it's inside. So what this is doing, this is the code is here. So this is actually dividing your sales measure by the previous year sales. And how it calculates the previous year sales? The previous year sales, it calculates whatever the sales measure and then minus one calendar year hierarchy, minus 1 year. So if I'm at 2021, it will compare it with 2020. If I select this to 2020, now this will compare my 2020 sales with the 20 year 19 sales. Did I answer your question? Hopefully I have answered your question. Okay, now I go to move to the last part of the exercise. Before I move to the last part, I just want to modify one property here. I go to the visuals and then I just turn off because I think I don't like it. Okay, so now this with this one, I have almost 10 minutes left for the final exercise, and I want to create something like this. So quickly do some of the things available. So I will place a text box here, and it's always good to have your sales dashboard. So I have this one available.
Hasham, before
Yes.
you continue, so actually there's another two questions. The first one is how can we have a comparison done from say 2020 to 2018? Okay, I think it's related to the last question. And another question is after, or if you want to quickly come back to the exercise files link and just show to the guys again, you'll be fine as well.
Okay, so the first part, if I want to compare it with last 2 years, I can do it. The second question, you will repeat because I did not hear the part of it. Let's say, okay, so if I go this formula here, now let's say we have this one. So let's create another duplicate page here, and because you can then relate. So this is my 2021 sales. This page is showing me 2021 sales, which is for the food and beverages is 174K. And if I want to compare it with year 2019, so if I have this one and I select this year 2019 sales, this is going to be 10694. Okay, so how do I compare? So if I go this measure here and I change this definition, because currently I'm going back 1 year, if I go back 2 years, if I want to go back 2 years, so now, and let's create one more measure here as well. Let's create one more measure here, which is called last previous 2 year sales. So if I create one more measure here quickly, and let's name this as last 2 year sales. 2 year sales. Okay, this is my measure. And if I place this measure here into this chart for now, you see, so this is my 174K, which is my current year sales, and this is showing 106K. And then for other categories, it is showing 105. So I need to sort this one as well, sort this by everything by product line, so we can compare both easily. So I can sort this by product line. So I can see this one 122K for the current year, and the last 2 year is 103K, and which is 103K for electronics, for fashion 103K. So you can see I can go back 2 years. Even if you want, you can go forward as well. So if I want, if I have let's say if I have selected 2019, let's say if I selected 2020 and I want to compare it with the positive forward one period. So how I can do that? I can quickly go here and I can just change this formula to +1 and -1. So -1 is for one less year and +1 is going forward. So this time it will calculate this. So this is 104. So if I here select 2021, so you can see 2021 sales is 122K, which is showing up here in this measure, right? So did I answer your question? And this will be dynamic. So if I plot this one against this attribute called if I plot this against my cities, so I can quickly plot this here as well. And now this has been for the next year, right? Did I answer your question correctly?
Yeah, and it just said that it's okay. But in relation of these questions, is asking again if it's possible to give, let's say, the freedom for the user that you consume the report to select, not hard coding the numbers. You know what I mean? So if I
Yes,
want to
yes,
select
yes, yes,
2018 with 2021 and so on. Yeah,
yes.
it's okay. You
So
can say yes, and if you want to answer, explain, it's fine as well. It's up to you. Okay.
yes. Okay. So how to do that? So I will show you a technique here, and you can expand this technique to any number of years or any number of things as well. So let's say I create a what if parameter here. So there is a thing. Now the topic we are, so I say last an year. So if I want this one to be last an year, or which year, it would be good. So let's say, and this will be a whole number. And I say I can go between 5 last year to positive. So, and I say usually this is going to be -1, right? So these are my maximum and minimum values. This is my increment. Like I always want to last next. I will name this as this. It could be last this year. For last this year, you will choose -1, right? So I have this measure here. I will just place this measure here, right? And I'm just going, maybe it might not be readable. Let's try to expand this one a bit more. And I will just turn off one of the properties here. Okay. So this is my property. So I say I will let user select like if they want to choose last 1 year, or they want to choose forward 1 year, or they want to compare. So this is how I can let them choose whatever they want to choose, right? So currently, if I, and how I incorporate this in my dynamic expression. So I will come up here and I will write an expression here. Number of year is 2. Right. So I have this value coming up here, and I want this to return. So now this time, let's see if this works. Okay. So how do we verify it? How do we validate it? So just to get rid of all the other things which are available on our page, so let's try to do a matrix comparison here. And before doing that, I will save this one for now. And for the purpose of simplicity, I will create one more page here, a copy of our page, and let's delete all those charts which are available in my dashboard. Okay, now if I'm creating a very basic matrix here. So my basic matrix is my date dimension, and I want to plot a sales. This time I'm not using any measure for our own purpose. So I will create a matrix, and I will say this by column group as date, this one, and I want the column group to be on years, right? So this is showing me the year. And then I want one more thing here, which is going to be my product line in the rows. So let's delete this one as well. So I remove all the filters on this page, right? So these are the current 3-year sales. So this is my validation page. So if I want to validate, I can validate against this page. So let's say this is my validation, right? So we have created this one. Okay. Now if I go to my duplicate sales measure, I want to validate my sales that, okay, I select last 1 year or last 2 year. Can I do this or not? So currently I have this as -1 year. Now where is my measure? This was my measure, which is called last year sales. Let's rename this to be more meaningful. Last year sales is returning based on whatever I have. So this is 2020, and I have placed this measure here in my chart, which is last year sales. And then if I go here into the conditional formatting, I can say, okay, also render this one. Sorry, into the field formatting, also have this display units as thousands as well. So I have some similarity between those two. So this time when I say this 2020, this sales should come as 2019. So how about if we validate these two categories here as well? So this is sorting, and this is sorting based on the product line as well. So save. So how much sales do we make in? So currently you see why this is not matching, because I have the monthly filters available. So I remove all the monthly filters. So for 2020 electronic sales, it is saying as 204K, and 2019 this page is showing as 201K. Go to the validation page and check, because 2019 it is 201K and this is 204K. Check for sports and travel. For 2019 it is showing 209K, and this one is showing 205K. For 2019, 205 and 209K, which is correct, right? How about if I change this to 1? So let's say I want to move forward one period. So this is how. Now this time this should show the values of year 2021. So how I can see? So if I go here, I can see this one is 204K and this is 122K. So this value remain unchanged, but this measure got changed because I made this as a dynamic slicer. Okay. Now let's say I suppose select year 2021. So this time I don't have any forward year, but if I want to compare it with year 2019, I say go back minus 2 periods. So this will be 2020 minus 2019. So if I see, this is my current year sales, which is 122K, and 201 is my 2019 sales, right? If I go it minus 1, it will show me 204K, right? Did you understand the concept?
Yeah, I think I was clear after the questions. It's fine. One last thing. Before the final of the session, can you show again the exercise links again one more time?
These ones or these ones?
Yeah, this one. Yeah, that's perfect. Amazing.
Okay, I can post this into the chat.
Yeah, that's
And
fine.
maybe you can. Okay.
Let me get. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I think I can paste it here into the chat.
Yep, just paste it. Oh,
Okay.
amazing. Thank you so much.
Okay. So we were about to launch. So do we have some time, or we just?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You can finish the dashboard for sure.
Okay. So this was the final objective we were looking for. So I really like some of the questions because you guys were really keen to learn something new. So now let's move on to our first page, what we were doing. So let's say if I go here and I say the background color as this one, and I'm going to have a sales dashboard like this, and the text color, I want this to be white. Okay. So this is one thing. Now here I have this one. I'll just quickly do some of the adjustments and then we'll be all good. So X version will be 20. Okay, so we have quickly aligned all these things. So this one, I don't like one of the things here, this clear button. So I usually have this one off and rather I turn on the titles here. And for the titles to be here, this, which is fine. And then I can have this one as well, adjusted this one to the theme bar here. This is the, so I will do some of the maths here, 370. And I will do the same for this one as well. I will turn off the, and then I have this one available. Okay. So I have this one adjusted as well. One more thing, I need this to be more wide. So this is going to be 420. And now I have these charts available here, and I can play around with this one. I have grouped this one, but I can remove the grouping for now. If we want to ungroup, I can quickly go into the selection pane, and then I can choose the ungroup. So this will have me ungroup all those charts. So I will group them later on. So I have this one deleted as well. I have this one deleted as well. Now I want to align this one. So I have this one. Uh, 20, something like this. Okay, so this is 200. Everything seems aligned. I think we need to get rid of this scroller. So we can get rid of this scroller here as well. So I can increase the width, say 600. Okay. And this one is going to be 560. So also I can add some more beautification. So I can insert a line here, shapes. I can insert a line, and maybe let's say we have the rotation here, and so this is going to be my outline. Line color should be gray. So I have this one available that, okay, this is my section part. Five 70, 100, 600. Okay, and you can have one more line here as well to show between exposition 10 and with 1260, something like this. Height is going to be 40, and Y position is going to be 90 or 80, I guess. And I have this color as well, same dark gray, right? So you can have these sections built in here as well. With this, I think we are done for today's. One more thing, which before I leave, we'll add some buttons and bookmarks. So if you want to have this as default set as a bookmark, so I'll add a blank button here. I'll just choose a blank button to reset, and I can have the text assigned to it, button text. I can say this as reset filters. I'll have the text size here defined. So I want this to be 18 as well to match what I have in my sales dashboard. I can have the font color to be white. Then I can have the outline fill as this one, 0, just to match it. How to make this work? So I create on the bookmark pane, go to the bookmark pane here, view bookmark pane, and then I say this is my default filter. So I add a bookmark here, and I say this is reset filters. I save it here, and I want to define some actions. So this will be going to the bookmark, and the bookmark should be which one? reset filter, and I can provide the tooltip as well. This will reset filters. Okay, with this I save this one and I can view my bookmark here. So what bookmarks let me do is, like, if I change my selection to 2020, so and you want to revert to your original selection, you can click on the bookmarks. It will be good. So final step is to publish this file. So we can publish this file with using one click button here. So I will use the one click button here on my Power BI file, and I will publish the file, and we'll look how it will look onto the Power BI service. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this session. Okay, we'll have a final look here into the Power BI. So it says, okay, where do I need to publish? I select the workspace. So now this is my service, and if I go to the home tab, these are all the workspaces. This is my workspace here, and I can see this file is been coming up here as well in my Power BI. So in my Power BI, I can see all the dashboards which are coming up here. So all the other things, and I can share between, I can do this reset thing is working. I can share the report with my colleagues as well. So you can do the sharing option, or you can have them assigned to the different roles as well. With this, we have completed all 4 exercises. Develop a add bookmarks, reset slider, add buttons, configuration events, and this one as well. And we have created something like this. We can still put the icons back in here as well. If somebody wants, you can put the icon back in. So this is how our session. Let me know how do you rate your session, and if you want the file, I will have this file published as well. And one more thing is, like, you will always have this one available, these dynamics things here, which I showed you the last year as well. So this could be totally dynamic, right? So let's rate your session, and if you have any question, you can come back. I'm here for the next few minutes to answer your question. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, so there's no problem
Yes.
at all. Was amazing session. I think I've received a really good feedback through the chat. There's no more questions at all, but the guys are asking you one more time the link for the exercise, because I check here is not working, the exercise link. So can you double check and send to us, please?
Okay. Let me share one more link. Maybe because I have published this into a public site.
Okay.
So let's check if you can access. I'm pasting it here into the chat.
Yeah, that's great. Let me see.
Let's see if you can access this one. Otherwise, then I will email it to you, because I have your email. So let's see if you can access this link.
It actually is asking for credentials, so that maybe we need to send to us. Okay?
Okay. So I will send you the zip file. I will send you both things. Okay?
Okay, that's amazing. So I think there's no more questions so far. Thank you so much for the session. It was really good. The feedback from the audience was really good as well. And you answer all their questions. And again, Power BI, it's an amazing product. Thank you so much again. Okay, guys, remember to scan the QR code and get the free access to the resource, step-by-step and learn, and so on. And that's it. Thank you so much, and see you next.